Can you really get beautiful croissant layers without a dough sheeter? Absolutely. All you need is a rolling pin and the right technique. Today, I'll show you my hand-rolled method to create beautifully defined layers and light, flaky croissants right in your own kitchen. So let's get started. First, let's make the dough. I'm using a combination of cold water and cold milk. And yes, cold is important here. Unlike regular bread dough, we don't want to start with warm liquid. We want to keep this dough cool because later we'll be working with butter, and controlling the temperature is one of the keys. Now, add the sugar. It gives a mild sweetness and helps develop that beautiful deep golden brown color during baking. And add the yeast. I'm using instant dry yeast, so there's no need to activate it separately. It can go straight in. Give everything a good mix until the sugar is mostly dissolved, then set this aside for a moment while we measure the dry ingredients. For this recipe, I'm using bread flour with around 12% protein. It gives the dough enough strength to handle all the rolling and folding without becoming too fragile. But if you don't have bread flour, don't worry. All-purpose flour can work too. Add the salt, about 8 grams or roughly 1.5 teaspoons, and mix it through the flour. Now, so let's bring everything together. Pour the liquid into the flour and start mixing. At this stage, we're not trying to develop perfectly smooth dough. Just keep mixing until there's no dry flour left in the bowl and everything comes together. Take a look at the texture here. The dough should feel firm but not extremely dry, and definitely not sticky like a high hydration bread dough. Different flours absorb liquid differently. Look at your dough. If it feels unusually dry and crumbly, add a tiny amount of liquid. If it's excessively sticky, add just a little flour. Once everything is combined, cover the dough and let it rest for 30 minutes. This little rest does more work than you might think. It gives the flour time to fully absorb the liquid and allows the gluten to begin developing naturally. While the dough is resting, this is the perfect time to prepare our butter sheet. Cut the cold butter into even pieces. And arrange them closely together in the center of a sheet of baking paper. Fold the paper around the butter to create a neat rectangle. This paper is going to act as our mold, so take a moment to make the corners straight. Now, don't immediately attack cold butter with the rolling pin. If it's very firm, it can crack into pieces, and those cracks can cause uneven layers later. Instead, gently tap the butter with your rolling pin first. Once it's pliable, begin rolling it evenly toward the corners of the paper. We want a flat, even butter sheet, not thick in the center and thin around the edges. When the butter reaches the correct size and shape, place it in the refrigerator to chill. After 30 minutes, let's check the dough. You can already see the difference. It looks more hydrated, softer, and much easier to work with. Now add the softened butter and start kneading directly inside the bowl. At first, the butter may look like it doesn't want to mix in. That's completely normal. Just keep kneading and folding the dough over itself. Continue for around 4 to 5 minutes. As you knead, you'll feel the dough gradually changing. It will become smoother, softer. We don't need to aggressively knead it for a long time. Remember, this dough is going to be rolled and folded several times during lamination, which will continue developing its structure. Once the dough feels soft, cover it and let it rise for about 1 hour. But here's something very important with croissant dough. Don't let it become too warm. Keep the dough cool enough for successful lamination. If your kitchen is warm and if the dough starts feeling noticeably warm, place it in the refrigerator for a while. Now, lightly dust your work surface with flour. Place the dough down and begin rolling. Now, bring out your butter sheet. Before using, make sure leave it at room temperature for a few minutes until it becomes flexible enough, but don't let it become soft or greasy. Now, fold the dough over from both sides until the butter is completely enclosed and carefully seal the joining edges. Now comes one of the most important parts. Before rolling, gently press the dough with the rolling pin using controlled passes. Don't repeatedly crush one spot. Work gradually from one end to the other. The center, edges, and corners should stay as even as possible. Once the dough reaches the required length, bring one end toward the center, then bring the other end in to meet it. Keep the edges straight and aligned. Close the fold neatly, then gently roll again lengthwise, maintaining that same even pressure. And while you're working, if it starts becoming very soft, sticky, or warm, stop rolling. Don't try to finish the fold just because you've started it. Wrap the dough and put it back in the refrigerator until it becomes cool and manageable again. This is especially important during summer. Warm dough means warm butter, and once the butter becomes too soft, it can smear into the dough instead of staying in those thin separate layers. Once this fold is complete, wrap the dough well and refrigerate it for about 30 minutes. This rest gives the gluten time to relax and, just as importantly, brings the dough and butter back to a similar cool temperature. Once the dough is properly chilled, take it out of the refrigerator and we're ready for our next fold. At this stage, don't rush straight into heavy rolling. First, gently press along the dough with your rolling pin. This helps soften and distribute the butter gradually without breaking those delicate layers inside. Then begin rolling lengthwise with smooth, controlled passes. Before folding, use a pastry brush to remove any excess flour from the surface. Now bring one end of the dough toward the center. Bring the other end toward the center as well so the two ends meet neatly without overlapping. Brush away any remaining flour and then fold the whole thing together like closing a book. Keep the corners and edges nicely aligned. Using a sharp knife, make deep cuts along the folded edges. This releases the tension and helps the dough expand more easily during rolling. Now wrap the dough well and return it to the refrigerator for another 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, bring it back to the work surface. Again, gently press first, and then roll the dough lengthwise. Keep your pressure controlled and constantly check that the thickness stays even. If the dough keeps shrinking back while you roll, don't fight it. Give it another short rest in the refrigerator rather than forcing it and damaging the layers. Once you reach the correct length, brush away the excess flour and trim the uneven edges with a sharp knife. Now we're ready for our final fold. Bring one end of the dough toward the middle and then bring the opposite end over it to complete the fold. Keep everything straight, neat, and aligned. And that's it. Our lamination is complete. Now wrap the dough carefully and place it back into the refrigerator. Now we're ready for the final step. Take the chilled dough from the refrigerator and before you start rolling, gently press along the surface with your rolling pin. Then slowly begin rolling it out. Keep your pressure controlled and try to keep the entire sheet as even as possible. For this batch, I'm rolling the dough for 8 croissants. The final thickness should be roughly the thickness of 2 coins stacked together. Once you reach the desired size and thickness, use a sharp knife to trim away the uneven edges. Keep your rectangle as straight and even as possible because consistent triangles will give you croissants that proof and bake more evenly. Now divide the sheet into 8 equal triangles. Starting from the wide end, begin rolling toward the tip. Roll it gently and evenly without crushing the layers. Finish with the pointed tip underneath the croissant. This helps prevent it from unrolling during proofing and baking. Arrange the shaped croissants on a baking tray, leaving plenty of space between them because they're going to grow quite a bit. Now leave for proofing. It usually takes around 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes they may need a little longer. When they're getting close, preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, fan forced. Once the croissants are fully proofed, it's time for the egg wash. Apply a very thin, even coating and brush gently across the surface. Now they're ready for the oven. Bake at 180 degrees Celsius for approximately 22 to 25 minutes. or until they're deeply golden brown. Every oven behaves a little differently, so adjust slightly depending on the color you prefer. Croissants may look complicated, but once you understand those few rules, the whole process becomes much easier to control. Give this method a try at home and let me know in the comments how your croissants turn out. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more baking recipes. Until next time, enjoy your baking and enjoy those layers.